araw ngayon makakasama at makakapanayam natin ang isa sa mga atletang Pilipino na hindi lamang nag-represent sa 31st Southeast Asian Games para sa bansang Pilipinas, ngunit nag-uwi pa ng mga medalya. Please welcome, we have Miss Agatha Wong.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, so I have some few questions lang here, no? Syempre, first of all, kumusta ka, Agatha?
I'm okay. I'm actually back in the bubble because we're currently preparing for an online competition. So this online competition, pag sinabing online competition sa Wushu, you just submit videos within the deadline. So yung deadline namin is by June 1. So we started shooting our respective forms today and probably for the next few days as well. This online competition is one of the competitions that we were notified while we were in Vietnam while the SEAGames was happening. And then after this, hindi pa namin alam kung ano yung next na competition. We're just waiting for our federation's notifications for us.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So eto na, how do you feel about winning the gold medal for the Philippines?
To be honest, I didn't really expect that I could repeat what I had won in 2019 kasi parang given the time constraint that me and my teammates were given, parang hindi siya possible to achieve, pero I'm really glad that SEAGames is over for me because knowing that I had won in 2017 and 2019, parang there's always going to be the expectation that I will be winning from now on. So I'm glad that I had put Vietnam behind me already, and I'm glad na it's over.
Oh, there you go. How was your training pala amid pandemic? Kasi it's totally different. Kasi syempre, before nung nag-training kayo, pwede kayong lumabas-labas, I guess. But now, it's different. How was that?
So before Vietnam, what the Philippine Sports Commission did was they encased us in a bubble. So what it means dun sa bubble namin is bawal kami lumabas-pasok. And then every time we go out of the bubble, which was probably once or twice as a team, just to fulfill some requirements for SEAGames, we were swabbed for 3 days straight. So they were very strict dun sa bubble namin kasi they really want to contain the integrity of the bubble. So lahat ng teammates ko, we started the bubble ng February 23. Hindi na kami umuwi until we flew to Vietnam on May 10.
Yeah. Okay. Hindi naman siya naging mahirap for you, you know?
I've had more difficult experiences in 2019 wherein pinadala kami sa China. That was before the pandemic pa. I got homesick kasi in China, walang masyadong nag-i-English doon. Tapos, the food is different. The people are different. Tapos, the only people that I can converse with in Filipino are my teammates. So, for me, it was more isolating to be in China than to be encased in a bubble here in the Philippines. At least dito, you can still use Grab. You can still call your family. There's Wi-Fi, ganun. So, I didn't really have a difficult time in the bubble this year.
That's nice. Are there any special training that you went through specifically for the 31st Southeast Asian Games?
It was bringing back my body to the way it was as best as I can noong 2019. Kasi noong 2019, I had a year to prepare for SEAGames kasi we held SEAGames in December of 2019. Pero this year, they held it on May. So parang I had 2 or 3 months to prepare, and then that was coming off of a 2-year hiatus from Wushu kasi I had just been stuck at home because of the pandemic and whatnot. So it was very difficult for me to think na in 2 months I'll be competing, I'll be representing the Philippines. I had never done that in that short amount of time. Tapos parang nung pagbalik ko kasi to training and I just entered the bubble, parang nawala na yung muscle memory ko, nawala lahat ng muscle strength ko, ng flexibility ko. So parang I had to go back to step one again. So that was very difficult for me. Pero I'm really glad that I had the privilege of experiencing that. If asked, I would never do that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So are there any other challenges na you faced before the competition?
Challenges talaga is always the doubts. It's never about my environment. It's always the doubts that I had kasi I had to start from step one, and I had to, relearn some techniques again. I had to learn how to jump again. I had to learn how to know my body's limits again. It's like getting to know myself again, pero this time in sports. It was very interesting. It was an interesting experience. So yun talaga yung one of my challenges going into SEAGames this year.
Wow, that's like ang galing kasi 'di ba parang you had to go back from the very beginning. Pero look at you now na napanalunan mo pa rin ang gold para sa Philippines. Grabe naman. Congratulations again. Iba talaga. Okay, so eto naman medyo a little bit personal naman yung mga questions natin. Sino naman yung pinakauna mong minessage after winning?
After winning,
Yeah.
actually, I after I won, I received a ton of messages. Pero one of the first few people that I messaged was my close group of friends. So my group of friends, they're people that I've met in some parts of my life. Tapos we just happened to get together because of me. Parang I introduced everyone to each other, ganun. So parang naging group kami. So the first people that I messaged was my college schoolmate, which is now one of my close friends. Her name is Eliza, and she's currently an international student studying her masters in Switzerland. And then the next is a CNN correspondent where we're very close. His name is Paolo Barcelon. Basta we're a group of random people and they just happen to connect with each other because of me. So parang
Nice.
yeah, I was in this tight group of people that it was very funny kasi nung first event ko, naputol yung live stream. Like just as I was about to perform, my friends, those group of friends, they were already waiting for me since 9 a.m. Kasi 9 a.m. yung start ng competition, but I performed mga 11 pa or 12. And then as I was entering, naputol yung live stream. So they were so mad because they waited hours for me. Tapos yun, parang nalaman na lang nila na nanalo ako in the comments na lang. Ganun. So yun, it was really fun. It was very fun.
Okay, that's nice. How about your family naman? Did you also message them right after winning?
Actually, one of the team managers for the Wushu team was my mom. So I didn't really need to message anyone in my family because my mom was there and she was updating my dad and my grandmother. So there wasn't really a need for me to message them. Kasi sometimes I would warm up tapos she would be calling them. So makikita din naman nila ako sa FaceTime, ganun. So, yun.
Okay. So parang kasama mo rin pala sila, no? Habang sumasalang ka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's really nice. No? Iba yung feeling na mong sumusuporta sa'yo while you're doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back pala muna sa Wushu. Can you tell us more? Kasi syempre ako, ang alam ko sa Wushu, yun yung mga napapanood ko sa mga Chinese movies, right? Yung mga lumilipad, like sila Jet Li, Jackie Chan, yung mga yan yung mga favorite na Chinese actors ko na nakikita ko sa kanila. And just to share with you, fan ako ng mga ganun. Fan ako ng mga martial arts, wushu. Parang back when I was a child, I really also want to do it. Parang feeling ko ang saya na lumilipad ka and then you're battling with some villains. Can you tell us more about it? About the sport naman.
So, from general knowledge kasi, what we know, what I think most Filipinos know is Taekwondo is from Korea, Karate is from Japan. So naturally, yung Wushu, it's a Chinese martial art. So yun yung from China. So for every martial art, regardless if you're doing judo or karate or taekwondo, merong dalawang discipline yan. So lalo Wushu. So yung first discipline is called the forms, which is you're just gonna perform a form, tapos meron kang mga requirements na kailangan i-meet. And then the second is yung contact sport. So sa Wushu, yung contact sport namin is called Sanda. So how we compete in Sanda is by weight category and then by gender. So female to female, 56 kilograms to 56 kilograms, ganon. Sa form naman, part of Wushu, it's called Taolu. So that's where I am. And then sa Taolu, it's more technical kasi it's you are scored based on your performance. So for example, nahulog yung sword mo, may deduction yon. Na undo yung shoelaces mo, may deduction yun. So aside from the form, you have to consider a lot of factors as well. So yun yung sa Wushu.
Okay, so how was your journey naman bago tong lahat ng to na nakuha mo yung mga medals, like hindi lang sa 31st Southeast Asian Games but also the past competitions that you've been. Kamusta yung journey natin? Kamusta yung journey mo? Like, kailan ka ba nag-start mag-wushu or kailan mo nahiligan yung sport na to?
I started Wushu at age 8, tapos on and off siya until 12 years old. And then after 12 years old, tuloy-tuloy na ako nag-Wushu. Kasi na-absorb na ako for the national training pool. So, pag sinabing national, they're trying to mold the national team.
Okay.
So, yun, I just upheld that position until 2016. So, 2016 or 2015 ata yung first exposure ko sa SEAGames. So, that was my first SEAGames. It wasn't really a good SEAGames for me kasi baguhan ako in terms of the level where I did. So, I got 9th or 10th. I think I was second as earlier. And then after 2015, that's when I started bagging medals. For some reason, I think it was the SEAGames in 2015 in Singapore that started it all. Kasi after nun, I had another competition a few months after. And then that's when I started bagging medals na. Tapos yun, tuloy-tuloy na siya. Hindi na siya nag-stop. And then yun, looking back at my journey, I'm just in awe. Kasi parang every time I compete, I just always get nervous. And I always think na I might embarrass the name of my country. Pero I don't end up doing that kasi I know naman in myself that I trained hard and I know na kayang-kaya ko to, ganun. Sometimes talaga yung mga thoughts na yun, you can't really help but think for yourself. Pero the actions and your performance that will show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dun sa first competition mo where you won a medal, how do you feel? How do you feel that time? Kumusta yung pakiramdam na unang beses kang nanalo ng medalya para sa Pilipinas?
What I considered was my first win was a SEAGames competition. Pero before that, I bagged medals naman na. Pero it wasn't something like Asian Games or SEAGames. It was more of yung Wushu only competitions, or for example, World Championships, mga ganun.
Yeah.
Pero one of my major, one of the turning points of my life was in 2017 sa Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. I bagged the silver. That was my first medal. And I didn't realize na nandun na pala ako sa level na yun na I'm worth a silver medal. I didn't really expect that. And then the day after that, I competed again and I got the gold. And that really blew me away kasi I didn't think na I would get the gold. Parang feeling ko bronze or silver lang ako, but I got the gold. So that was a very eye-opening experience for me kasi minsan I underestimate myself most of the time. Pero in the end, I tend to perform naman at my best. Yeah.
That's something na iba yung bigay na pakiramdam sa'yo, no? Kasi parang lagi mong, kanina napansin ko, laging wala kang expectations, right? Wala kang expectations. So, whatever happens, talagang tatanggapin mo lang. Pero, ang galing, no? Sa tingin mo, ano yung edge mo sa mga kalaban mo? Why kahit na feeling mo hindi ka mananalo this time or feeling mo ito yung makukuha mo, you ended up getting the gold medal for the country. And it's sa tingin mo yung edge mo?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I think, I think most athletes, they actually crash when they start expecting na they're going to win. Parang, I don't know, parang it's just an observation sa wushu. Parang yung mga nakikita kong tao na laging ina-expect na sa kanila na yung gold, ganun. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you get the results na you want. But most of the time, they really can't carry that much pressure on themselves. So I try not to have that kind of mindset. And every time I compete, kahit na I know that parang I'm a level above other athletes, I try not to underestimate them kasi we're all in the same level, and I always try to think that they're good, so I have to also do my best. Parang ganun siya.
That's a really nice mindset of yours, no? Na you're not looking at your competitors as someone na below you. You think of them as someone na, alam mo yun, kapantay ko lang. Same tayo na dito. Pare-pareho tayong athletes, pare-pareho tayo na we wanted to win, or I mean, we wanted to represent our country really well. So, that's right. That's nice. Anyway, so ito, I think we also want to know, kamusta yung relationship mo with your coach and the rest of the team? Kasi this is something na important din, right? To parang kailangan din na okay din yung mga relationship natin sa team natin and sa coach, kasi sila yung kasama natin from training up until the competition. How was your relationship with them?
Okay naman. I actually started bonding a lot with my teammates in the bubble kasi they're the only ones that I see every day. So parang it's inevitable not to bond with them. And then yung coach ko, he really tried to, guide us. He tried his best kasi he didn't come with us sa Vietnam. He had to cancel his flight because he had other flights for the rest of the year. So even if he stayed here in the Philippines, tapos kami nasa Vietnam, he tried calling us every night, tapos chine-check niya kung ano yung nagawa namin for the rest of the day. Ganun siya. So I think my relationship with my teammates and my coach, they're really, they're a strong support system. Parang we support each other. Pag meron kaming mistake, we try to lift each other up. Tapos pag nanalo kami, we try to make it a more joyous occasion instead of like parang getting jealous or parang talking behind each other's back, yung mga typical drama. Pero no, we're not like that. So yun, it's a really good team. I'm very grateful for my
team. Who's your closest friend naman sa team, if you ever have? Like yung pinaka-close, like besties?
No wala kasi akong ganun because I'm one of the few women in the team, and then the rest are guys. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm quite with my close friends, like outside of Wushu, I'm very talkative. Pero here talaga, ever since, I've always been somewhat quiet talaga. It's really in my demeanor. Hindi ko na siya mababago.
I see. That's okay. That's totally okay. Okay, so what are your future plans after the SEAGames? Although you mentioned earlier na you have other competitions, are there other things now we should watch out you for?
Wala naman. Iniintay lang namin what comes after our competition or our online competition this time. Kasi after nito, I don't like, to my knowledge, parang wala na kaming competition. So yun, we're just awaiting our head coach's next move for us as a team. Yun.
So are you still studying, or you're done studying na ba?
I actually graduated college noong 2018. Medyo matagal na. It's been 4 or 5 years already. So this year I wanna go to grad school sana, pero I'm still thinking about it. So I'm still on the fence about it.
Okay. So last one, message to aspiring Filipino athletes who also want to do wushu like you.
I think yung pinaka-advice na mabibigay ko sa kanila is kahit na, my sport isn't really a well-known sport in the Philippines, and kahit na in the national team, it's a male-dominated sport. That shouldn't really stop people, especially women, from joining us and trying to do wushu. Kasi parang it really shows, that kahit na it's challenging for us to do sports amidst a pandemic, amidst the unequal gender ratio here, parang it really shows how resilient we are as people. So yung pinaka-advice ko for people not only, wanting to try to do wushu, but also to do sports in general is don't mind the other people and don't mind what people think of your sport. Kasi as long as you love your sport, nothing else will matter.
Wow, that's so great to hear. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation to have an interview with you. And we are one of the lucky ones na pinagbigyan mo na ma-interview ka namin ang gold medalist na si Miss Agatha Wong. Congratulations ulit. And we hope to see you from very soon ulit sa iba pang competition. And we hope na magtuloy-tuloy pa ang iyong journey. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that's it for today's interview. For more updates, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can also visit our website at www.globaldailymirror.com. This has been Leslie Ordinario. Good day.